Morning, everyone, and welcome to our class today. Let's start with the prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Alayadi Mashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Bless our class today with thy divine presence in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. As we seek to attune to thee, be with us now. Om Shanti Shanti. We'll listen now to a song by Swamiji, Peace, sung by Swami Kriyanandaji, and then an excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on this topic, Deepening Your Sadhana. Welcome again, friends.
Peace gave us the mountains, peace gave us the sky. Nightly when starlight enfolds us, peace is its lullaby. Peace gave us the morning, peace gave us the sun, bird songs that call us to welcome day and fresh labors begun. Peace gave us the seasons, peace gave us the rain, cool clouds that gather to bless us, mist hands that soothe away pain. Peace gave us our heart's love, peace gave us our smiles, rays of thy presence within us, light that all strife reconciles.
What you want to do is center yourself in your higher self so that you will be guided by goodness and truth. But centeredness, added to these other qualities, is a very important aspect of deepening your spiritual life. Everything that you do should begin at this center. You will find that the more you do that, the more you will really have control over your life. And the interesting thing is that then things will be drawn to you that will be beneficial to you. The more you allow yourself to be spun out of your own center by life circumstances, the less control you will have, not only over what you do, but oddly enough, because your magnetism then will become centered in things or people or whatever, the more you will find that you don't even attract to yourself the things that are best for you anymore. Learn to become centered in the spine. When you meditate, try to feel that center there. And chanting Om at the chakras is a good thing. The different techniques of yoga and Zen and so on that get you centered are all good. But then offer that energy upward from all of these chakras. It would help you. Another thing that would help you would be to think of the heart as being, this is the way it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, as a lotus with the petals turned downward. Turn the petals upward toward the brain. When you feel devotion in the heart, offer that devotion, that feeling, up to the point between the eyebrows. If, for example, in chanting and meditating, you feel so much love that you can't help crying with love and with joy, it's beautiful, and such tears wash away many sins. And yet you do find a point that if you don't internalize it and become calm and centered and offer it up, you become exhausted by it and you lose the feeling of love. It's got to be turned toward calmness. It's all right at first, but then take it within. Otherwise you'll lose it. Take it within, become calm, not by suppression and control so much as by offering that energy calmly up to the point between the eyebrows. You'll see then that it will grow, that the love will be a great deal deeper, and that it's something that you won't get tired of. It won't tire you. It will be a much deeper love. Then another important point is to always listen. Not just listen while you're meditating. Always try to be in the listening presence.
Good morning again, friends. I'd like to start with a couple of readings about meditation from Swamiji. Meditation is a state of intense awareness achieved by stilling and concentrating the thoughts. It is a journey to the center of our own being, a process so beautifully, perfectly natural that we don't have to learn how to meditate. And finally, meditation opens the floodgates of inner peace and automatically bestows a natural sense of relaxation to the body and mind. If we meditate regularly, that peace will become second nature to us. In advanced stages of meditation, the body can become so relaxed that it almost seems to float. These are very beautiful thoughts. And today's topic on deepening your sadhana, it's a very important one because we can go through life with our sadhana just being kind of bland and the same always, and I do this every day, and I'm not really getting anywhere. I hope and pray something will happen at some point. But sadhana is the basis of our whole life. It's the central core of a devotee's life, of a disciple of master's life. It brings us to who and what we really are, in attunement with the higher reality, to God, to gurus, to a higher consciousness, higher awareness, to light, to joy, to peace. The sadhana gives us a life in God, And without that, we don't really have a life. We just are living, we just have fillers. We're doing this, we go to our job, we go to sleep, we with our children. But until you have that central core of your life that's just bursting, really, it's bursting with joy and energy and upliftment. Until you have that, you just feel like you're just going through the motions in your life. But I pray and thank God every day for Ananda, every day for Swamiji, every day for Master, every day for the teachings, every day for the path that I have a life in God, every day for techniques that we can practice as our sadhana to uplift our consciousness. It's one of the greatest blessings of life is to have the possibility of even having a sadhana. Otherwise, who are we? What are we here for? Where are we headed? Most people have no idea. They're just going through the motion. So sadhana is the anchor of our life that Guruji has given us. Do this every day, and it will help you to lift your antenna, so to speak, to be able to feel that you're not that little body, that little personality, the person that you think you are, that skin color, the hair, those thoughts, the karma, that's not who you are, that you're deeply beyond that. And sadhana more and more unpeels, takes away everything that you're not, until more and more you realize that I am that joy. That Master said, whatever little bubble of joy you feel in meditation, blow on it, expand it, whatever love you feel. And Swamiji said, sometimes you're just weeping for joy in meditation, and you lift that up to the spiritual eye. So sadhana is a journey. It's a journey from where you are now to who you really are inside, to God, to Gurus opening the door, revealing that you are a wave of that ocean of cosmic consciousness, and that at a certain point you break out of all the self-definitions, as Swamiji called them, all the limitations that hold you back from discovering and then being who and what you really are. So sadhana it's the essence of our life. It's not I live it put in a closet when I feel like feeling good, or when something happens in my life that is painful, then I pull out the sadhana. Sadhana is just, it is life. It brings life. And without it, what could we really do? We have to listen to what's needed in our sadhana. It's not always going to be the same boring sadhana. We have to invigorate it and bless it and bring God's grace into it and energize it and give enthusiasm to it. And so I remember Swamiji saying about Kriya specifically, but he said, if you want to feel joy, go to your meditation with joy. Don't go, when am I ever going to feel joy? Go joyfully. And so today I'd like to give you some tips on how to do that. The first thing we have to look at when we're looking at our sadhana, because sometimes we need certain things. We need this now, then we need that. Master's saying, now you need this. Now you need to add that. Now you need more of this. Now you need less of this. Every person is going to be different. In general, we have, yes, the same practices, but how you do them, how long you do them is really, you have to, Swamiji said, finally, you have to listen. Which way is Guruji taking me now? What does he want me to do? How can I open myself more? He's telling me. It's different than the person next to me in that meditation room. It's different than this other person. What is he telling me? And if you never ask and you never listen, you don't know. And so your sadhana just carries on. You don't even know if it's really taking you where you want to go. So there are different aspects that you need to tune into at different times. And I'm only naming some. There's many more, but the one I think many people have to look at initially, particularly on the path, is you have to get disciplined. Now, I know that word people don't really like, but you have to be disciplined, and you have to say, okay, this is what my guru said. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do the sadhana. Even if I don't know if it's working or whatever, I'm a disciple. there's discipline to this, and I'm just going to do it. And that's one thing you have to come at the beginning. Just do it. I know there were so many things I didn't understand. I don't hardly understand anything. I would be sitting in Swami Kriyanandaji's talks, fantastic talks, hour and a half, 2 hours, and just most of it over my head. But but I looked at him and I said, I believe him. Even if I don't understand it, he's telling us what to do. I'm going to at least try it. I'm going to put the energy out. So discipline is the first thing. And otherwise, you can't really get anywhere, whatever you're doing. If it's a sport, if it's a musical instrument, if you're singing in a choir, if you're whatever, if you're learning how to cook, or there's got to be some discipline there. This is just the way it is. Like we were growing up, our parents would, give us our dinner, and, then we'd have something on that plate, like fish or something. You didn't really want that, but they give us enough other things that we sort of eat the spinach as well. So don't think much about it. Just do it. Like, if I like to walk and take walks, and if I'm not feeling like it, I just don't think. I just get to the door. Just go to the door. Don't analyze it. Just get to the door and walk out. And so whatever you're trying to do, you're going to have discipline. So I was remembering when I lived at the meditation retreat at Ananda Village, and that gong would go off in the mornings at 5:00. I was an apprentice. I was in a program. I was in a training program. I didn't want to get up. I remember the girl who was, I was in a little cabin. She was on one bunk, I was on the other, and she was worse than I was. And the gong would go off every day. She said, I hate getting up. Just hate getting, I hate it. I never did that affirmation because it was so negative, but I didn't want to get up, but I did. So I learned how. And then after a while, it just wasn't a big deal. And so also San Francisco house, the same thing. You have to get up the crack of dawn to meditate because other people have to go to work. You do it enough and then it's okay, it's not a big deal. But if you keep fighting it, it will always be a big deal. So just at a certain point, just break through, do it. I can do it, do it. I can, I will, I'm doing it. And secondly, energy. You've got to have energy. At certain points, Master says, okay, now you need more energy. You're just sitting there kind of sleepy in the meditations, and maybe you're not energizing. Maybe you're not doing yoga postures. Maybe you're not doing Mahamudra. Maybe you're not doing the pranayamas, but you've got those bring up the power, the Shakti, the energy. And I remember I didn't really like energization, but Swamiji said, you just got to do it. And I did it. And I could feel, wow, I have so much more energy. My mind is more clear. My thoughts are more clear. I can meditate better. I'm going deeper. So energy, Master, at a certain point, he says, now you need to add more energy, fuel. You need more fuel to keep your car going strong. And so that could be one. Another is bhakti, devotion. Different times, Guruji brings you over. I felt it at different times of my life. Okay, you got a good base. You're strong in your discipline, your techniques. You need more love. You need to open your heart. You need to love God, not just the techniques aren't the thing, it's the love that they bring out. And so how do you get more devotion? Chanting, listening to Swamiji's music, get a harmonium, get some instrument, tanpura, whatever, and play it. I just can feel by playing those instruments, it's just so much deeper. Chanting's half the battle. It's so clear. Master said it. Why would he say? So you can get recordings and listen, sing along, get an instrument, whatever. But you feel that it takes you halfway there. After you chant, like after I play music, harmonium or estrad or tanpura, I go right in my room and meditate because I feel like now I want to meditate because it sets the tone for you. So devotion. Next one is attunement. Pray to the gurus that they help you. So different times you need to tune in more. You just keep going, I'm doing it, oh, I'm deeper now, I did it. Master said about Swamiji, look how I changed him. That's the point. The gurus, we do 25% of the efforts. Master gives 25% on our behalf, is what he said. of his power to change. 50% is God's grace, 75% is there, but we have to call on it, to open, to be receptive, to, if you have a little thimble and you're trying to hold God's grace, that's all you're going to get is a thimble. But if you really get in attunement, and if you open yourself enough, it'll be floodgates will open up. Just like that reading I just did. And you just feel, you're just in tune. You feel Guru's grace when you meditate. You feel uplifted. You feel joyful. You may have a vision. You see the spiritual light, and it's not you. That's the point. Maybe you're the channel. You're open to it, but these things come by grace. We have to attune to God's grace. Finally, another one is going deeper. At different times, you feel Master saying, "No, you've been shallow for a long time here. You've been on the surface. It's time for you to go deeper." And you know when that time is. And he's asking you to maybe put more time in, but not just the time, the depth. I'll go into in just a minute how you can get there, but it just is the aim for depth. Not, okay, it's just the same old thing. Aim for joy, aim for love, aim for peace, aim to become that. That's what meditation is about. Dhyana is about meditation. It's becoming those qualities. And just when you go into your sadhana room, just aim to come out of there feeling peaceful, or feeling joyful, or feeling Master's with you, or any of those. And you'll find that if you really aim more, just rather than, I'm just sitting here, what time is it? Oh, it's time for breakfast. It just doesn't get you there. And also, you may need to do longer sadhana. I'll get to that now. So some things to do to arrive at a deeper sadhana. One, set it up. Set up your meditation room so that you just love it. I was watching some kids the other day. I was taking a walk here, and there was one lady taking her son. It must have been, I don't know, seemed like 5 or 6, walking to the school. And I thought, now why is he really, the little boy, is he really wanting to go to school? Probably a little bit, but what he really wants is to see his friends. He's happy to go see his friends at the school. And I just thought about that with sadhana. Why do you really go in the meditation room? I go because I'm in love. I want to go and be with the masters. I want to go there. So set it up so that it magnetizes, it brings you, draws you into that room. It's beautiful. You have flowers, you have whatever, you have beautiful pictures. The altar is beautiful. There's a nice cloth, it's clean. The room is just lovely. And you feel, you have murtis, maybe you have some holy something in there, your mala. And I remember Swamiji asked Master once, he said, listen, Master, I'm trying everything. I'm doing more kriyas. I'm doing more Om, Hong Sa, whatever it was, energization twice a day. And he said, am I not trying hard enough? And Master said, you're trying too hard. It's too much tension. There needs to be a sense of openness and relaxation. So first thing is make your room so beautiful and so magnetic that you just love going in there. It calls to you to go in there. Next thing, get a time that you enjoy and stick with the time. If the time is early or late, early in the morning and then late in the night, it's more quiet. It's more peaceful at those times. And you may be able to meditate better, but whatever the time it is, stick to the same time. Just like your meal time is typically the same. Stick to the same time of meditation. It'll be easier to go in and meditate. The next is a preparation to be able to relax. Do your energization, Mahamudra. Do some of the techniques Swamiji just described on the talk. Navi Kriya, Hong Sa in the spine, chanting Om at the chakras, turning the petals of the lotus upward, feeling the energy rise. So prepare the body and the mind before you meditate, and it'll be so much easier. People tend to rush in and they rush out, and why? Take the time of preparation. You'll find you can go much deeper. I talked about music and chanting. I talked about prayers to the gurus. Another couple of them will go into questions. A long meditation once a week could serve you well. Twice as long as you usually meditate, maybe 3 hours. You have to decide on that, but don't sit there sleeping. I mean, it has to be active. There's something that's happening, but for years and years and years, if you do that, it will be really the foundation of your shorter meditations during the week. And meditate with others who've meditated longer than you, much longer than you. You'll find that there's just more of a power in that room. There's more magnetism, there's more stillness, there's more centeredness, there's more inwardness, there's less restlessness, there's less thoughts racing around. You can just feel like you can sit like a rock. So find and meditate with people who've been around longer than you meditating. Finally, listen to Swamiji's talks on meditation like this one. And you'll find that, wow, it's so inspiring. There's a whole other realm that we haven't reached that's waiting for us. And as we keep inspired through hearing the talks, listening, reading some things about meditation, listening to talks like these about meditation, you will find that you're so inspired. You're so much more open, so much more enthusiastic, and you'll find more and more that sadhana becomes really such a pearl, a gem in your life. We can't do without it. And you find that if you follow that sadhana, there God is, just waiting for each one of us to come back home. God bless you all. I'll ask Natendra to ask the couple of questions that we have now.
Yes, Dhyanaji, thank you so much. Dhyanaji, the first question is, often I feel that I take 2 steps forward and then 1 step backward in my spiritual journey. So what is the best way to just consistently continue to move forward?
Why not just keep going? Why analyze it? People think too much. Of course, I've gone back, forward, up, down. So what? Just keep going. At least you know you're heading up, even if there's some dips, even if you go back. It's okay. It happens to everybody. Who goes straight into heaven? Nobody. I mean, it's like there's just karma there. There's karmic bombs that explode. There's times you have illness. Sometimes somebody's sick in your family. Sometimes somebody has passed away. Sometimes you just feel blocked. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen along. We're talking about a long journey, 40, 50, 60 years. And if you feel like you're just going to go straight, think again. The people who are victorious are the ones who get up and keep going. So be a spiritual warrior. Just keep going no matter what. Even if you're crawling, get up, keep going. I've seen people who are sick in bed still doing their sadhana. Maybe they couldn't do Kriya, but they were doing Hong Sa or praying to the gurus or something. I've seen people with cancer still doing the sadhana in the hospital. So let's not be like always thinking the lower way to go. I mean, just keep going no matter what. I knew someone who was that lady I talk about a lot. I can't go into it, don't have the time, but she was sick for 10 years doing sadhana. She had a better sadhana than most of the other people. She had twice a day energization, twice a day, 108 kriyas. I mean, gee, and she was dying, but she died in grace. 10 years after the doctors told her she wasn't going to live. So sadhana is like armor. You've got that, and things they might come at you, but they won't knock you over. And I remember she asked Swamiji, how long should I try to keep this body going? It's painful. He said, as long as you can, because you're in a human form, and that's not easy to come back into. So I think we do the best we can with what we have now. Everybody's got an excuse, but you got to do more than make an excuse. You got to really put your hand to the wheel and go for it.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. So is it okay to continue the sadhana when I'm ill, or what changes should I do to my sadhana?
I would. I mean, do something. Even Hong Sa, even just praying from the bed, even just closing your ears, listening to Om. Do something, or you just feel, you don't feel like yourself. Even if it's 5 minutes of prayer to God and Guru, chanting Om Guru Om. When one of our devotees' parents passed away, this was Shivani, who's now in Pune. She was passing and she wanted us to be there. I was there and some others. We put the harmonium on the bed. We were chanting. Then she just left and we just kept chanting. And it was just such a joyful feeling in that room. She kept saying, I see Swamiji, I see Swamiji. So you just hang on to the end. Whatever you can do it. And it'll keep your link with the gurus. One man said at the end of his life, Master Swamiji told us this, that he said, oh, I've done many wrong things. He died soon after that. Master said, he shouldn't have said that. He goes in beyond his body with that thought, I've done many wrong things. You know, you want to keep your consciousness as elevated as you can. Like when Swamiji would go to the dentist, which I've done it a little bit, but he did it a lot, where he didn't take Novocaine. So I go to Dr. Kriti, who's the best, I think. And so she tells you, you really don't need this, but if you do, just let me know and I'll give you some. So if she's filling your tooth, she's just drilling. And I just chant Om Guru, Om Guru, Om Guru. She says, if it's painful, raise your hand. And I just get, my hand goes up and down. I try to take it. But those kind of things, you just don't get as affected. If you really want to, you can do something. Even if you're really ill.
Thank you.
Just hold a picture of Master and look in his eyes, you know. Chant to Babaji. So, okay, anything more?
One last question, Dhyanji. So you talked about long meditation. So does the length of the meditation also ensures its depth?
No way. Some people are sleeping for 3 hours. You're gonna be actually meditating. So do what you can do. Just like a yoga posture, go a little bit beyond the point of comfort, meaning a little longer than you feel you can handle. Then if you're there and you feel like, God, this is going well, stay longer. It's a trick of the mind. Also, you have to be physically well enough to sit for a long meditation and to go deep. You have to be rested so you're not falling asleep. It has to be the right hours of the day. Like if you try 10 o'clock to 1 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., good luck. That unless you're in the Himalayas. So it has a lot of factors have to be there to make that meditation, longer meditation work. So, but don't say, well, okay, I don't have the factors, so I'm not going to do it. Try it. I think you'll enjoy it. You find that the rest of the week goes wonderfully. The other sadhana seems so short compared to when you really put in the effort. I've made it the base of my spiritual life, longer meditations. Then when the 8-hour Christmas meditation comes, you don't go, oh my God. You, you feel ready for it. So, okay, anything else? Okay. Thank you, Nitendra. Have a good day, everybody. God bless you.